Hi everybody, this is Dennis, and we're going to do a full review of the Eaglemoss collection. Of course, this is part of the Star Trek one. This is the Daedalus Class. This is number 100 that they had put out. I'm doing some of the older ones up front here. I think it's just great doing a history of them. The Daedalus class is another one of those that are very hard to get information on. The Daedalus class, really was, came after and replaced the NX class. They had went away from the saucer section. You can see the spherical hull. Reminds me a lot of 2001 Space Odyssey. But it was used for exploration by the United Federation planets. This was some of its earlier, one of the earlier configurations, that they used for exploration of the galaxy. And, it was fairly well armed for its time. And it had a maximum speed of warp factor 7, so it was much faster than the NX. That was the first warp 5 engine that they had. It did have phaser emitters and photon torpedoes, the early ones. Did have polarized hull plating, very much like the NX-01, and it crewed about 229. The Daedalus class, and we'll go look into it. It was in service for about 35 years primarily. 2161 they were launched, and I think the first one was decommissioned in 2197 or 2196. We don't get to see a lot of it. I was able to pull up a few different pieces throughout Star Trek lore. You can see that they've got a picture of it. That's part of the ships of the line. That's a pretty a cool book. You guys know, if you'd watched any of my other ones, I do have the encyclopedia, and it talks about in here the Daedalus class starship. It was one of the first starships commissioned and operated under basically the United Federation of Planets. This was the first to really demonstrate the primary and secondary hulls, and then it names a couple of them: the USS Essex that was destroyed, the USS Horizon, which is what this guy is. This one is the Horizon, which is the most famous, although we never saw it. It would have been cool if we would have saw a part of it, but it was from a piece of the action, one of my favorite. It's one of the most fun ones of the original series. And then the USS Archon was also listed. So the encyclopedia has it. And then I also do have, it is even listed in the Star Trek chronology. And you can see right there, the USS Essex is listed. I was looking, and it did not talk about the exact launching of the class. It would have been somewhere right in here, but they actually didn't list it. And then you can see right there, there's the Essex, and then there's the Horizon. And then if we do flip the page, you can see one more, and it is 2196. Starfleet withdraws the last Daedalus class from service. That was, I should say, the first time they withdrew him from service. It did have to come back. They did take it out of service, but they had to rebring it back during the Romulan War. So before we actually look at the ship, let's just take a peek at some of the information. I do love this. You can see the different deflector dishes that they had to put in. And unlike the bigger ones that we had seen, from like the USS Enterprise from the TOS, communications were very limited at this time. So the class ships were often out of contact for extended periods of time. They were equipped with subspace transmission and transponders, which could signal their position, but in the event of trouble, they were sometimes forced to rely on radio waves to transmit. And, as you remember seeing, that can take quite a while. There is, this is their shuttle bay. I mean, this always has reminded me of it's like one of the tug transports. It's just the way it was designed to me. The bulbous spherical head. You can see the warp nacelles, but that's the internal of it. This was one of the original concept drawings for the USS Enterprise. Matt Jeffries did create this. I really was hoping that they were going to show some of the original blueprints and stuff in this, but this book is full of some really good information. I do love the books that actually come with these. And you can see there's a shot, a piece of the action, which was the USS Horizon. The USS Archon had disappeared near the planet, and the USS Essex, if you remember the Next Generation one. So, yeah, this was cool. The Daedalus Class, this is where the Horizon was responsible for contaminating the natural development of the Ionians. It's a pre-warp society. They left behind several books, including one entitled The Chicago Mobs of the 20s. And that was pretty much the basis for Piece of the Action, which was awesome. Just a fun episode, like I had said. But here we go. You can actually see the data field. The Bussard ram scoops on the Daedalus class vessels featured spikes in the front of them, as did the Enterprise NCC when it was under the command of Pike. So you can see the Bussard's ram scoops, and it did have the spikes that did it. By the time they had done the refit under Kirk, that had been removed to the newer version of it. The warp nacelles, you can see the aft sensor pallets, the aft phaser emitters. You can see the pylons, the engineering hull. So they do list off the basic stuff that they have it, the access boom, the airlocks, the main bridge, which of course is on the top as usual, and then the forward phaser emitters. So that is cool. This is a neat ship. I was really happy with the Enterprise, so I'm really glad that they went and did it. At Michael Okuda's request, a Daedalus class model was actually built by Greg Jean, based on a design, that Matt Jeffries originally had, and you can see that they actually built it, which is really cool. This is one I have not seen in person, but it is cool that they had done it. This is, of course, a CG representation. And then this goes into, some of the histories, where you saw it on screen. So the book is pretty cool. But like I said, let's just take a look at the actual ship now. The design is, I think they did a nice job with it. Like I said, you can find high-resolution people that have made models and stuff, CG versions of it, and it is cool. But you can see the NCC-176. We'll flip it around to the back. You can see the shuttle bays, the back of the warp nacelles. This should be very familiar with the Enterprise. You can see the underpinnings are very similar in the way that they color coordinate them. This one does have the spikes on the Bussard collectors. You can see the bridge. Let's take a look at the front of it. USS Horizon. and then the 4 navigational deflector dishes. They are gold, very much like the original Enterprise. So, there's not a lot to be done on these. So they've got all the important details. I don't think they really missed anything. It's a cool ship for what it was. They brought them back, like I said, during the Romulan War, and this was kind of the mainstay for combat. But in a lot of cases, the Daedalus classes were kind of outgunned. But it's a cool piece of history. My hope is one day we actually get a flashback or an episode that takes place in this era. I would actually love to see these in action. I don't know. What do you guys think? Data class, there you guys have it. So model-wise, like I said, there's not a lot of that they didn't miss anything. There's just not a lot of really great details that you can put on this. I'm giving this model an 8.5. I think it's very good. It's enjoyable. It's a piece of history. While it is alpha, it is considered canon because it was mentioned in a number of shows. We just didn't get to see the actual ship, which is kind of a bummer. But the USS Horizon Daedalus Class. Guys, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, share this out to your friends, especially if you got any trekkers. Let me know your thoughts and comments. I will leave the link down below. Lilith, the Infernal Conflict, I've got live on Indiegogo for the sign-up page. You guys can go check that out. It's the continuation of the Shattered Reach universe. So it's the third book in the set from Andy Smith and myself. So go sign up. That way you know when we're going to be ready to launch the new book. So guys, let me know your thoughts on the Daedalus, and we will talk to you all real soon.